Hi everyone, my name is Toliver, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about deforestation and illegal logging. So deforestation is the action of clearing a wide area of trees and transforming a forest into a cleared land. So basically, whenever you see someone cutting down trees, that's deforestation. Illegal logging, which is a subcategory of deforestation, is the harvesting of wood that is in violation of national regulations. So this includes harvesting from protected areas and habitats of protected species. For example, illegal logging would be if you were to try to cut down trees in a national park. Also, if you exceed logging quotas, which means if you were to own a logging company, you're only supposed to cut a certain amount of trees in a certain amount of time, and if you exceed that, then you're participating in illegal logging. Illegal logging accounts for 50 to 90% of all forestry activities in tropical rainforests, which include the Amazon basin, Central Africa, and Southeast Asia, and about 15 to 30% of all wood traded globally. So some of the economic effects of legal logging and deforestation include the economic livelihood being stripped of the local communities and responsible companies that live in the area where it's occurring. Also, the governments have loss of revenue because when trees are cut down without permits, it's smuggled abroad, so they lose out on that money. Also, the global market loses about $10 billion a year just from illegal logging. Some of the social effects include that it threatens some of the world's most valuable forests, again, the Amazon rainforest, one of the biggest rainforests, and it's threatened today just from deforestation. Poor communities who depend on forests actually lose out on some of the financial benefits, so that's a really huge social effect of illegal logging. And then many of them really have little control over the ownership of their land, so it can be taken away and people can just log on it without their permission, and again, they'll lose a lot of financial benefits from that. Another really big effect that has to do with environmental changes includes greenhouse gases. And according to the technologist Topher White in his TED Talk, he says that deforestation accounts for more greenhouse gases than all of the world's planes, trains, cars, trucks, and ships combined. So basically, deforestation is worse for climate change than transportation is, and transportation is pretty bad. Transportation is actually 14% compared to 24% in deforestation for the greenhouse gases that are emitted, and it's actually the second leading cause for climate change. And the last big environmental effect, which kind of gets me a little bit, is the animals, obviously. So when cutting down trees in big rainforests, there's millions of different species of types of animals that live there, and you're taking away their home. So when all those trees are being cut down, it affects all of the animals and the habitats that live there and in surrounding habitats and environments. So where does deforestation occur the most? It often takes place in countries with poor governance and law enforcement capacity. So when places don't really have a good government, it's going to be affected in that area. It's also in tropical rainforests and Amazons where there's a lot of trees. For example, in Nigeria, Indonesia, and Brazil are some of the top places where it's been happening. For example, the Borneo rainforest in Indonesia, it went to industrialized companies like Japan and the United States in the form of garden furniture, paper pulp, and chopsticks. So that's where all of their wood has been illegally going to. So another example in terms of like the habitat destruction, there's about 222 species of mammals, 420 resident birds, 100 amphibians, 394 different types of fish, 15,000 plants, and more than 700 species of trees. And unfortunately, the deforestation rate is accelerating faster than in any other tropical country there, so those numbers are just going to continue to go down. So basically, for a takeaway message, deforestation clearly isn't good. And another thing that I didn't really talk about, because I felt like it was a bit obvious, is trees produce oxygen. We use oxygen to live. So the more trees you're cutting down, the more oxygen you're taking from yourself. And there's more and more people every day and less trees every day. That equation doesn't really add up. So take a little time to think about that, and hopefully you guys learned something about deforestation today. Thank you all for watching.